I'm your host, Wana, and you are watching Airtel Touching Lives. Now, on this show, we like to see people rise. Let's get to it. Touching Lives. Tonight, we take a trip to catch up with old friends. And we meet a grandmother trying to care for her grandson.
Godspower lost his mom when he was about 6. The grandmom is more or less on her own.
The family needs help, my mom needs help.
The day I met the child, he was chased from school. I said, open your hand. What was that? It was 3 palm kernels. That was his snack.
I want to touch your life. I want to be the change. I'm going to shine my light. I'm going to make a difference. Touch your life. Be the change. Shine my light. And make a difference. You're the one to make the world a much better place. You're the one. You're the one. Touching lives.
Out looking for lunch one afternoon, David Balogun saw people lining up for food along the roadside. Since it looked popular, he decided to try it. It was here that he met Lukman Oreniwa, who was deaf and mute. Lukman was able to read and write, so to communicate what he wanted to eat. David wrote down his order.
Anytime I think about this food, I'm really happy. That's what it does. That's what it knows how to do best. His food is so delicious.
Lukman lost his hearing when he was young after an illness. This didn't stop him from qualifying as a chef.
Lukman has just recently been, evicted, taken out of his business because he's actually using a very small place by the roadside where he couldn't afford the rent. The challenges Lukman is facing is very enormous. I can say that since the time he was taking off, he couldn't even afford 3 square meal. He's trying to get jobs, he couldn't even get job because of his predicament. Nobody wants to employ a physically challenged person.
When I see my husband going through all those challenges, all those pains, I feel bad seriously within me that what can I do for him to just make him a better person, to change his life for him. If we don't get help, things will be more difficult for us because I'm pregnant, I have a son, and my husband is not working. It's not going to be friendly. I'm my unborn child again, and it's just going to be very difficult, more difficult for us.
Airtel, of course, would like to support you. And I know that a hearing aid was something that you guys really wanted. I was going to help. And Airtel will be providing you with the hearing aid.
Oh, thank God.
Great.
Airtel is also going to help him set up his catering business and equipment.
Oh, wow, thank God. Thank you so much. God bless you.
We recently visited Lukman and his family to find out how they're doing after Airtel has touched their lives. I love checking in with past stories to see how Airtel has shaped and inspired lives. Coming up after the break, we meet Mary and Godspower. You don't want to miss this. To join the conversation and interact with tonight's show, you can visit our social media. You'll find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Touching lives. Touching lives.
Welcome back to Airtel Touching Lives. Our next story is focused on Godspower. He's an orphan who lost his parents to HIV and lives with his grandmother, Mary, who does all she can to take care of him with as little as she has.
Touching lives.
Godspower lost his mom when he was about 6-7 months old to HIV/AIDS. Soon after that, the dad died also. I work in a primary health facility here. So he came to play with my colleagues' kids. So I took notice of his appearance. It didn't look healthy to me. So I had to ask, and I was told he lost the parents to HIV/AIDS and is positive himself. And from then, it has been the grandmom, the Godspower's mom's mother, has been taking care. Being in a medical field as a staff nurse midwife, I've come across so many people with different kinds of needs, and I'm a very soft-hearted person. So sometime in February, while I was preparing for work, I normally listen to the news on the radio. So I heard about the Airtel Touching Lives platform. And so I just wrote down the number, and then I got more information about it, and I wrote my nomination letter about this particular child and family. The grandmom is a divorcee. It's more or less on her own and does virtually nothing. She's a small farmer. You can see she plants small crops here and there. And then most times, if people want to hire like laborers to do farm work, she'll volunteer, and maybe in a day, 1,000 naira. And what can 1,000 naira do for you?
I do small work. Enter small work farm. Sometimes I see job I do. I plant yam for this, my brother compound. I plant small thing. Sometimes I will see job I do. This time I don't see any job. Because this is the weather hard.
Since the Godspower lost the dad and the mom, things has been so hard. At times when nothing on me, there's no work, my mom can, at times they will call for her, they will send for her, she will also go to work, farm, and that is how she normally takes care of Godspower. At times there won't be work, we'll just live like that, only by the grace of God.
Yeah, Godspower is on antiretroviral, and the antiretroviral drug is not available in the primary facility here. So they have to go to another LGA, like an A+ from here, to get it. So most times, if she doesn't have the transportation down there, Godspower will not have drug for that period of time.
There is a place that they refer Godspower to go and get drugs. So, you normally go there when the date that they gave to us. When it's that date, we'll go and collect the drugs. So it's not here. It's a little bit distance, very distance in another community.
I don't have money to look in. A thing we like to eat. Sometimes money no day to buy, to give her. Medicine, when they go hospital, you get medicine when they drink. Sometimes we don't have money to buy. You have drug when they we don't have money to buy. The conditions are for us.
Yeah, at this stage of his life, we all know he's growing and he's positive, and we know what happens when you're positive, that the virus keeps suppressing your immune system. And so to boost his immune system, nutrition, adequate, good nutrition is one of the requirements. He needs to be on good nutrition. When he doesn't have access to these things, you see him looking so malnourished. He's 8, going to be 8 this year, but see how little he is.
Since there's nothing, you don't have to eat much. You eat once and you manage to keep it so that you eat next time, in, let's say night. So the eating is not, it's not that, it's not coming, it's not that regular eating. So you just eat and you just manage to save. When you're eating, you don't eat to be filled, you eat to reserve it.
So Godspower goes to a small little school near the house where he lives.
This school, this is my pikin. They sometimes we go. Sometimes we have money, we pay for school, pay for Godspower. Sometimes no day.
I don't like my school.
Ma, like I asked her before, she said most times she will go begging the owner of the school that she will pay. If she has 1,000, she will go give. After a month, if she has another one again, she will go and give. Just that's how she has been able to sustain Godspower in the school. But they understand. They know there's no money. So most times, but when they, according to her, when she refused to pay, they'll send him back. So the day I met the child, he was chased from school. And then he came to play in the facility. So that's how I got to know him too. I can't stand people suffering. I can't stand people suffering. So most times, if I can do something, I do. So when I saw the child, I wasn't happy at all. And so I sent for him. I asked my colleague to bring him. They brought him. I gave him food. I did so many things for him. So he left. There was a day I didn't see him for a while. I asked again. They said he was trying to make hot water and it poured on him. And he's in the house. I said, okay, go and bring him. So when they brought him to me, I helped him to do his dressing of the burns injury he had. Then I made beans, I made soup, and I had other food in the house. So while he was about going, he saw my colleague that brought him, so he started crying. I said, why are you crying? I knew he wasn't happy that he has not eaten and they've come to carry him back to the house. So I said, don't worry, I have something for you. So I went to my house and I brought what I had for him. And then after eating, when it was time to go, he carried the food and he now carried another little bag, like a drug envelope, on a waterproof in his hand. I said, open your hand. What was that? He opened it. That was what he came with. It was 3 palm kernels. That was his snack. So when I saw the 3 palm kernels in his hand, I almost cried. The environment where they live, the shelter, he like some weeks, some time ago, she was robbed. You can imagine somebody, because this place is out of the community, somebody came here, youths, they saw what she bought, small, what they call, periwinkle and all that. You went to the market to buy, to cook the following day, and somebody took it.
I been go farm. When I go farm, I get money, but I go job, buy things, keep for my house. Somebody died for this meeting. We there for burial. Look, you enter house, you see how they cut the ceiling. Enter house. The people carry all the rice where my pikin be give me, where I cook, where go for eat. Before I dey bury, they take the pomo, periwinkle, fit, salt, carry all the rice with my pot.
So the place is not even secured for her to stay in.
We need help. The family needs help, my mom needs help, Godspower needs help. We need help, that things should be better. Because if there is no help, someone can go nowhere. If someone do not help you, you go nowhere, you keep on being your problem, suffering, if there is no help. So we need help, we need help.
Yeah, in Mary's situation, I think if she has everything in her power, she would have done more, even more for Godspower, because she's a mom and that's her grandchild. Your grandchild is your child, and so she sees Godspower like her own child also. So like a mother, you want to provide food, shelter, the love, support. Then in sickness, you want to be there. to help out also in drugs, to make sure that the child is okay. If he has his drug, adequate nutrition, good environment being taken care of, and he goes to school, he will end up, like I wrote in my nomination letter, he might be the next president of Nigeria. Nobody knows. You understand? So if he's given that opportunity, I think God will bless all of us for assisting him.
Touching lives.
Stay with us because after the break, Mary and Godspower join us in the studio. To join the conversation and interact with tonight's show, you can visit our social media. You'll find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Touching lives. Touching lives.
Welcome back to Airtel Touching Lives. Joining us in the studio, we have Evelyn, Godspower, and his grandma, Mary. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for being here and for the work that you do as well. I mean, when you met Godspower and when you met Grandma, how bad would you say things were for them?
Things were very bad after when I met them, because after the day I met him, he came to my facility to play with a colleague's child, so my colleague's kid. So when I saw him, I just knew there was something wrong. So I asked, because then he has boils, blisters all over his body and his lips. So when I asked, I was told that he lost both parents to HIV/AIDS, and then he's positive, and he stays with the grandmom as a farmer. So looking at him, he didn't look healthy at all. And so I knew things were difficult from where he was coming from. So I had to ask, and when I asked, I was told these things.
So, Mama, as you did like this, I know say you don't dey old. You know, you don't fear they catch you, say, if anything happens to you, go take care of the pikin.
No benefits, money to take care of this pikin, I don't have.
So, Evelyn, I mean, you know, if he doesn't get access to the kind of treatment and medication he needs on a regular basis, what is the worst possible outcome?
Yeah, one, he will come up with opportunistic infections. And then if nothing is done about it, for sure he will die, just like how the parents died also. So that is what I don't want for him.
And I know that you've also been doing a lot of work to educate people about HIV in the community.
Yes.
Well done, because that's incredibly inspiring. But have you seen any progress?
I've not seen any progress because they have a very poor health-seeking behavior, you know, due to ignorance and maybe deceit by some false men of God. They believe they can get treated in the churches or in the prayer houses or so. Most times you find them there, more of them there, positive, without drugs. So the attitude of the people in the community is not encouraging at all.
Thank you for the work that you're doing in the community and for the family as well.
Yeah.
Airtel definitely wants to support, because, you know, we're all about changing lives and supporting lives as well. Mama, thank you for the care where they give this pikin. So Airtel would like to support you. And what they want to do is they will pay for a year's supply of his antiretroviral drugs.
Okay.
They will also provide 2 years supply of nutritional drugs and supplements.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, my pikin.
They will also be offering 500,000 naira in educational scholarship.
Thank you. May God bless you. May God bless you. May God bless you. As that's why I said, praise the Lord.
Hallelujah. We never finish, we go still give you extra something. So we're going to rent and set up a provision store, and they would equip it with food that she will sell as well.
I thank God.
Even what would you say this means for their family?
For my mind.
Yeah, it means a lot to them, because it will help them now to cater for all the needs, especially for Godspower. There won't be the story of, there's no money to go to transport him to the facility where he gets the drug. you know, and then with the provision store, Ma will be selling things, and then you can have adequate nutrition for Godspower.
Yeah.
And then she will take care of every other thing, every other need, clothing, feeding, and he will live a better life. Then for his education, he will go to a better school, and definitely he will end up being a better person, educated,
And as they grow, you go
more
feed
to
the
the
health,
society.
Mama.
Yes.
Thank you so much for the work that you do. We really appreciate it. You're truly, truly inspirational. And we are so excited that Godspower gets to live a true and fulfilling life. Until next time, you've been watching Airtel Touching Lives. Next week on Airtel Touching Lives, we visit a story from season 4.
I didn't believe that I would be helped until Airtel came into my life and changed my life.
And we travel to the IDP camp in Borno State.
We have 30,364 individual, 6,437 household.
Boko Haram ya koro mu daga garinmu wanda ake cewa Doron Baga.
If one can chase 1,000, I think two would chase 10,000.
I wanna touch your life. I wanna be the change. I'm gonna shine my light. I'm gonna make a difference. Touch your life. Be the change. Shine my light and make a difference. You're the one to make the world a much better place. You're the one. You're the one. Touching lives.
Airtel, the smartphone network.